Hello everyone and welcome back to Excel. We're talking about building a simple savings plan. Alright, so in the previous video we had gone ahead and started creating our income information, okay, along with a number of different months because we are calculating this per month. Alright, so now of course we need to include our expenses, okay, the amount we're spending per month. Now of course this isn't always easy to track, okay, but there are some things that are recurring payments, okay, things that are generally they generally stay the same per month. So you can call this recurring, ongoing, whatever you want to call it. So I'm going to go ahead and put those in for now. All right, so I'm going to start here in cell A9 because again I like to give myself a little space to separate my various categories. So in A9 here I'm going to call this recurring expenses. Okay, you can call it whatever you want, but I just like to put that in there because I know that again they're recurring, they're going to stay the same each month. Now again we have this problem where the text is overrunning the boundaries of the cell. So first I'm just going to click underneath of it to get rid of that blinking line because I don't want to be in the cell, I want to be on a cell. Now that I'm down here I can go up between the column headers A and B in this case. There's the two-way arrow. I'm going to double click and now it's big enough to accommodate that data down here. So now now A10 is my active cell. I'm going to put in my first recurring expense category. So I'm going to type in, let's put in mortgage/rent. Okay, that's a pretty popular one there. I'm going to click underneath of that into A11. Let's do, how about car payment? I'm going to click down here in A12. I'll put in credit card MIN for a credit card minimum. Okay, in A13 here, I'm going to go ahead and put in energy bill. And then in A14, I'm going to click in there and do TV internet bill. All right, and then last but not least, again, since we want a total, I'm going to go down to A15, click on it, and I'm going to type in total in all caps again. All right, so again, the idea here is that these expenses are pretty much generally staying the same per month. So we can go ahead and just copy and paste them like we did with our income because they're not really going to change much. So now I'm going to go ahead and put in the actual values. So I'm going to go over here to C10, my first value for my mortgage and rent payment. So let's just say it's $1,200 per month. All right, I'm going to move down to C11 for my car payment. Let's call this $250 a month. Okay, I'm going to go down here and click on credit card minimum. Let's call that $50 per month. I'm going to go down here, click on energy bill in C13. And this is something that might fluctuate a bit, but you can kind of maybe look at your past energy bills, try to average it out. Let's just put in, $75 a month. And then we'll go to TV internet. Okay, this one should pretty much stay the same. Let's call it $150 per month. Okay, that's going to go in C14. So now, before I calculate my total, I'm going to go ahead and just copy and paste those values for the rest of the year, just like we did with our income. So I'm going to start right here. Now, before we did these individually, okay, by each individual item, paycheck 1, and then we did paycheck 2, then we did miscellaneous, okay. Now, an even quicker way, we can actually just go ahead, there's my select cursor, okay, right here. I'm hovering over cell C10 with that first mortgage payment. You'll see the select cursor, big white plus sign. I'm going to click and highlight all of those values that we just put in. So it looks just like this, C10 through C14. Now you'll notice that it's allowing me to copy and paste all of them at once with that fill handle. So there's the little black plus sign. I'm going to click, hold, and drag until I get to column K. I'm going to let go, and there we go. Okay, so it's even faster than doing them one by one, individually, by category. So now that's all filled in. So now, once again, I'm just going to go ahead and do my totals. So I'm going to start right here with cell C15, because that's going to be where I'm going to calculate my first monthly total for the month of April. So again, I'm going to do it the same way as before. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click and drag C10. There's the big white plus sign. Remember, you want the white plus sign here, not the fill handle. I'm going to go with C10 through C15, my empty cell at the bottom there. Once I've highlighted or selected that range, I'm going to go up to the Home tab, back over here to the Editing group, go to that Auto Sum button. I'm going to click on the drop down and click on Sum. All right, now I'm just going to click on cell C15 just to undo that highlight, so only C15 is selected. I'm going to go ahead and now click and drag and apply this formula across the board. And there we go. So now I see that my monthly expense is $1,725, at least for my recurring expenses. All right, so now we want to go ahead and see, let's go ahead and see what we are saving per month, okay? And then we're going to move on and talk about the actual account balance. That will come next. But let's create a savings row here. So again, I'm going to skip a row. I'm going to skip row 16 and go down to A17. I'm going to type in savings. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and click in cell C17 because in this case, we're just going to go ahead and we're going to create a formula to determine our savings per month. Okay, there are no fixed values because obviously this is going to change monthly. This is the whole point. We're using Excel to calculate our monthly expenses. So in this case, we're not going to click and drag like we did before because we do have some empty cells and it's going to be kind of alternating. Okay, so we're going to kind of type in the formula manually here. So I'm on cell C17, that's my active cell. That's where the formula is going to go. So the first thing I need, if you remember, for formula is the equal sign. So I'm going to click equals. All right, and if you're unfamiliar, the equal sign is to the left of the backspace key on your keyboard. Okay, so we have the equal sign. Now we can tell Excel which cell references we need to use. So you can either type in the cell reference or actually click on it. So I'm going to actually go ahead and click on it. In this case, we're going to be dealing with subtraction, right? Because we're going to be subtracting our expenses from our income to get what we're actually saving. Okay, everything beyond that. So I'm going to click on cell C7 first because that's my total income for the month of April. And there it is. Okay, cell C7. And you'll notice that it's also highlighting that cell just as a kind of a way to, it's almost like a double check, just to make sure you selected the right value. Now I'm going to type in the minus sign or the subtraction symbol. Now if you're using the numeric keypad on the right of your keyboard, you'll see a little dash there, that's the minus sign. Otherwise, if you use the key to the left of the equal sign key, that's the minus symbol. So click on that, and there's my minus sign. Now I want to subtract my total expenses for the month of April, so I'm going to go down to C15 and click on that cell. Okay, and now my formula has been created. There it is, equals C7 minus C15. I'm going to press enter on my keyboard, and there is my savings. All right, so it's subtracting my expenses from my income, and then everything else, or what we call the difference, is what I'm actually, saving after my expenses. So once again, I don't need to create that formula, and I don't need to create it for each and every month or each and every range. I can go ahead and just apply that formula across the board up until December. So I'm going to click on cell C17 because that's where the formula is. I'm going to find the fill handle this time because this time we're copying and pasting. I'm going to go to the bottom right corner. There's the little black plus sign. I'm going to click, hold, and drag across until I get to cell K17. I'm going to let go, and there is my monthly savings. All right. Now, of course, we want to know what this is going to look like in your account, okay? How this is going to affect your balance over time. So what we need to do here is create another category or another label called account balance. So I'm going to go down here to cell A19 because, again, I'm going to skip a row just to make sure things aren't cluttered. And I'm going to type in account balance. All right. Now, the reason we kept column B empty all this time is because I want to go right here to cell B19. I want to put in my starting balance. All right. So again, we're just going to pull a number out of thin air and just pretend. Let's put in 20,000 for your account balance. All right, I'm going to put that right there, and now I'm going to click in cell C19. So it saves that information in there. Okay, so that's our starting balance. Okay, now we want to see how that starting balance is affected by the savings each month. So in this case, we're going to be dealing with addition, right? Because we're going to be adding our savings to our current account balance. So again, we're going to go ahead and type this in manually. So the first thing I need is an equal sign. So there it is. Remember, left of the backspace key is the equal sign. So the first thing I want to do is incorporate my current account balance. So I'm going to click on cell B19. So now that's inside my formula. Now I need the addition symbol. Okay, so if you're using the number pad on the right, you can use the plus sign. Otherwise, you can hold down the shift key and press that same key with the equal sign. That will also give you a plus sign. Shift and then that equal sign key will give you plus. Now I want to add my savings for April, so I'm going to click on cell C17. All right, I'm going to press enter, and there's my account balance after the end of April. That's what it's going to look like. Now I'm going to click on that cell there where the formula is. Okay, and remember, it's up here in the formula bar if you forget, equals B19 plus C17. Now it's just going to, if I use that fill handle again, bottom right corner, I'm just going to apply that formula for the rest of the months. It's going to do it automatically. And there we go, up until December. Okay, so that was pretty simple. And it's pretty, what's cool about this is that you can always go back, because we have all these formulas in place with those cell references. I can always see what will happen if, for example, in July, I get a raise, 2,200. I can press enter. Then I can copy and paste that 2,200, and I can see how it affects my individual savings, but also my account balance over time. All right, I'm just going to go ahead and undo that real quick to get back to where I was. So again, you can change any of these numbers, and it will just update everything immediately, okay, and accordingly. Same thing here. Let's say I pay off my car in September. I'm going to put in a 0 there. I'll copy and paste that. Okay, there's my new account balance. Everything has been adjusted to my new savings per month right here from September on. I'm going to undo that again just to go back to where I was. So again, you can adjust any of these things over time. You can add something to this miscellaneous row for your income. So if you get again, if you're one of those lucky people who gets a tax refund in April, I can put in maybe $1,200. I'll press enter. And just for April, I can see that it adjusted my individual savings for that month and then my account balance overall. All right, I'm going to undo that again, go back to 0. All right, so as you can see, we built a pretty simple savings plan here, and because we use those cell references in our formulas, we're able to go back and adjust any of these values to see how will it affect things. So if you have a savings goal here, you can see maybe I need to, cut out my TV and internet bill. Maybe I need to downgrade and save a little money there, or maybe I need to cut down on my energy or something. You can always adjust these things to see how you'll get to your goal faster. Now, of course, you're going to have expenses that do not fall under this category, like your miscellaneous expenses per month. So in the next video, we'll talk about just adding another row for that, and we'll see how we can incorporate that as well. All right, so thanks for listening, and stay tuned for the next video.